Hey guys, so normally I would have better lighting. Normally I would have planned this video more, but your girl is mad. Guess who? Everybody's favorite predator decided to return to the internet. It's our good old friend Gregory Jackson, or as he's better known online, Onision. Onion Boy decided to upload a video called, what was it called? Let me pull it up. Just looking at it. It was some BS title. Yeah, it was called Let's Talk. I'm going to do my makeup while I film this. So, Onision uploaded this video, and it was basically him just attempting to justify everything without taking any accountability for his abusive behaviors towards Shiloh, Sarah, a lot of other girls. And I got inspired and wrote this long-ass comment in response, just kind of debunking every single stupid thing he said to try to justify him abusing all of the women that he has. So, I just wanted to go over that with you guys because I feel like we all need to hear this. Exposing predators, right? This is what the world needs. So, Greg decided to start out this video by discussing how suicidal he had been and still is all the time, which I am sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that. That's horrible. Nobody should have to suffer through feeling suicidal. However, what does this have to do with anything you've been accused of, Greg? So he rants for a little while about that, and once again, sorry that you have depression. That's terrible. Nobody should have to go through that. But doesn't negate from the victim's claims. And that has nothing to do with the conversation it had. So we're starting off with a distraction. So his second argument was, any group of women can come forward and say anything about anything, but really you can't know unless you were there. It's a he said, she said situation. Except, Greg, it's not a he said, she said situation. Multiple women have come forward with text messages. You uploaded the videos of you rating underage girls on your website for how hot they were. You are the one who told Shiloh to chain herself to the basement and stay there for a week wearing a sign that says, I am a liar. So, okay, yeah, it's a he said, she said situation, except for I've seen the proof. So you're lying to your audience. Point blank, that's just a lie. Then he decides to start talking about Trisha Paytas, talking about how she has done inappropriate things or whatever. I didn't even care what it was because, once again, whatever Trisha has done has nothing to do with what he has done. And Trisha, by the way, was suffering from schizophrenia. She actually was struggling with a deep mental illness. Not just depression, which I understand depression can be a serious mental illness, but I don't know a lot of depressed people that go around grooming minors until they turn 18 or putting arbitrary punishments on women by telling them that they have to tattoo on their face, I'm a liar. Trisha has actually taken accountability for everything that she has done. Trisha is in therapy 2 to 3 times a week because she doesn't want to be that person. You could talk to her and she would say, yeah, I did that, and that was wrong. Unlike you, Greg, still haven't heard you say that this was wrong. Still haven't heard you admit to it. Do you hear it? Do you hear the crickets in the background? Okay. Then he goes into how a court of law should decide if you're innocent or guilty. We should not be judged by the court of public opinion. Wrong again, Greg. That is not how the law system works. No. The way that it works is that you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this person is guilty. Meaning that, for instance, Casey Anthony got off. I think we can all agree that Casey Anthony freaking murdered her daughter, and she happened to get off. Nobody thinks that Casey Anthony's guilty. The judge and jury just didn't feel that it was beyond a reasonable doubt. How hard is that to grasp? Really, you talk about how smart you are all the time, Greg. So you really can't comprehend this? Because most of the world can, unless, they're victim blaming. Cough, cough. Then he goes on to, I hate to repeat this term, but I don't know how else to, say it. So, he used the word lynched. And then he said, that's not a racist term because it can mean that, you're just being falsely accused and that it's ridiculous to even imply that that is in any way racist. Yes, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago, before slavery and the Civil War, the term lynched had a very different context, but did you know something? The meaning of words, it can evolve over time. No, I didn't know that. You mean the meaning of a word can come to have different context? I'm not saying you should be crucified for using that term. I'm just saying out of sensitivity for the historical context it has, maybe just don't use it. Like, how hard is that? There's a billion other words that you could use. It doesn't have to be that. 1 minute, I have to grab my powder. I'm back. Then he starts talking about how any number of women can come forward and they'll just be believed. Like we haven't all heard that one before. And then he talked about how all of these women, they're coming against him out of vengeance. You heard it, guys. They just wanted revenge. My brain actually wants to explode. Like, I cannot believe this. Like, I'm actually outraged. I'm filming this immediately after watching the video. I hadn't even put my makeup on. That's why I'm doing it while I film this with you, because this could not wait. Like, okay. Any number of women forward and believed. I don't think so. Not how I've seen it work. 2 to 5%, if you want to go higher, 2 to 10% of rape allegations are found to be falsified. So you're asking me to believe that you are within that 2 to 10%, and that multiple women have decided just to do this just because you weren't nice to them? Yeah, because I know that my go-to whenever a guy is not nice to me is to accuse him of sexually assaulting me or sexually abusing me in some way, shape, or form. I'm sure he has to understand that women take a far greater risk when they come forward with allegations of abuse. In fact, women are very often vilified for coming forward because nobody wants to believe their favorite celebrity, their best friend, even a family member would be capable of that because he's a good guy, right? He could never do that. I would have known. I would have seen it. Lots of people don't see it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, abusers ingratiate themselves to their victims and put themselves in a place of trustworthiness so that if the victim should come forward, it will make it that much easier to doubt her. Once again, I think you should know that, Greg. Just grabbing my lunch, guys. I could have grabbed all this stuff out before I started filming, but I was heated. Like, oh my gosh, I'm still so mad. Whew. So let's keep going. We press forward. So the fallacy that women are lying for vengeance it's just that, a fallacy. It happens so rarely. So for you to use this excuse that it is such a common thing for this to be a girl's go-to, that's sick. I'm sorry. That's actually disgusting. Like, I cannot control the rage that I feel in my body hearing you say those words. Like, go fuck yourself, Onision. Seriously. Or better yet, go get fucked by some guy in prison. So 25 minutes into the video, this was like a 45-minute video, still hasn't addressed any of the allegations against him. None. He's just giving a bunch of excuses and distractions. And then he even goes so far to say is that his rudeness has caused people to come forward against him. And if only he had known that if this rudeness could lead to him being accused of these things, he would have never behaved in such a way. Once again, that's just a fallacy. I'm pretty sure that filming Shiloh while she was having a breakdown, having an underage girl move into your home and having sex with her the moment she turns 18, that's gross. That is so fucking gross. Then he went on about how nobody believes that he could be a victim of sexual assault because he's a man. Nobody ever believes men about this. They always believe the women, though. No, most of the time women aren't believed. out of every 100 rapists, only 2 will ever face jail time. So 98% of the time, men are in the clear. So I don't know what you're going on about, Greg. And he's using this tactic. It's called Darvo. Basically, it's where the perpetrator of abuse will try to turn the tables on the victim by making them feel like they're the one in the wrong for coming forward. So, for example, it stands for deny, attack, reverse, and reverse victim and offender. So basically, the perpetrator will deny the wrongdoing, they will attack the individual doing the confronting, and reverse the role of victim and offender, taking on the victim role and turning the true victim or the whistleblower into an alleged offender, which is fucked up, but it's what people have been doing for generations to get away with this. Then he goes on to talk about James Franco and about how James Franco was canceled because he sexted a 17-year-old girl and that should have never happened just because it wasn't legal in his state and how unfair that was. No, James Franco got in trouble for a lot of things, a lot of gross things that I don't really want to go into detail with, but one thing that I do feel comfortable talking about is that he ran a sex scene class at a college. So he went to a college and had barely of age girls and boys practice sex scenes in front of the entire class. How the college even agreed to this, I have no idea, but people are insane. Maybe it's because he was a celebrity. I don't know. Sorry, guys, I keep having to duck down for stuff. Okay, so also, it's just mind-blowing that you cannot recognize how gross it is for a 30-year-old man to be wanting to talk to girls of that age. I mean, I'm 24. I'm about to be 25. Do you know how I feel about when I see an 18-year-old boy? I feel like they're a child. Like there's no part of me that goes, "Oh, he's good looking. Would love to hit that." No. I look at them as children because I'm at a different point in my life. Even if okay, so you're dating an 18-year-old. There's an automatic power imbalance. You have more power because you've been through more relationships. You have lived more life. I know that you understand this, Greg. You're not stupid. That's how you groom your victims. You just don't want to admit that's the way that you got them. Once again, just vomit. So then he brings up Elvis and how Elvis married Priscilla Presley when she was 14 and how we all still feel like Elvis is okay. I'm pretty sure nobody in today's day and age thinks it's cool that he married Priscilla when she was 14. The only reason he got away with it was because it was a different day and age where those things were viewed as much more acceptable. And like I said, people can like Elvis's music and not think that it's cool that he married a 14-year-old girl. I certainly don't. Hey, I like a little less conversation, a little more talk, or whatever it is. A little more action. The words. A little more talk. That's the same thing as conversation. Okay, Bree, you're too mad to think straight. So once again, my mind is blown. These distractions. Once again, we're 25 minutes into the video. He has not acknowledged one allegation against him. Not one. So then he starts talking about how, our criminal justice system can choose to try somebody as an adult. So why do they get to arbitrarily decide if somebody's an adult? That's so wrong. Yeah, I do think that's wrong. I don't think any minor should ever be tried as an adult. I think that's something that should be abolished in the United States. Once again, what does this have to do with the allegations against you? Nothing. You can advocate to abolish, trying children as adults. In fact, I would encourage you to. That's a great thing. I support that 1000%. What does this have to do with the conversation at hand? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Then he starts talking about how you can enlist at 17. And, if you can enlist and get yourself killed, basically, why can't you have sex, And no, you can't just enlist at 17. You need parental consent. And once again, I think this is something that should be abolished. You can advocate for making the age of enlistment 18, regardless of parental consent, and still think that Greg was gross for what he did to Shiloh, Sarah, and so many other women. Overall, this video just proves that Greg is incapable of taking any accountability for his actions. Like, I don't know if I think that he's being purposefully ignorant. He would have to be. But what was sick was reading the comments and seeing how many people were backing him up. Like, oh my gosh. And, that video, like it's this easy, Greg. You were abusive. You sexually coerced and molested a girl the moment she became of age. She felt she was fine with it at the time, as most girls do, because it's exciting. An older guy is paying attention to you. He likes you. And you're so mature. You're so smart for your age, right? You could be the most mature, smart 16-year-old girl in the world, and you still don't understand what it's like to enter into a sexual, physical, and emotional relationship like that. You just don't. Like story time, my church youth pastor made a pass at me when I was in the car with him as he was dropping me off after youth group. He was in his 30s, I was 16, and he sat and talked with me about his relationship issues, everything going on in his life, how hard it was, and how nice it was to have me as a confidant. And 1 minute, guys, I'm going to have to pause while I do my eyeliner. I'll be back. We're back. So, once again, I am just utterly disgusted. Like I said, I was filled with so much rage. Hearing this, I literally opened up my laptop and immediately started filming. Like, literally, as a survivor myself, it is so disgusting watching people use the same rhetoric and lies that have been used against survivors for centuries. And it was like some of the comments, like his hardcore fans were just eating this, I'm sorry, BS up. So Onision is trash. We all knew this. I just wanted to make a point by point video debunking all of the crap he had to say. And yeah, this is going to have no edits. This is a completely rough cut. This is just me talking about how I feel. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and hopefully the next video will be less depressing than this one. Bye, guys.